Heading to the top of the 7th here in Milwaukee, Rockies down 4-2. We have found a very special guest in the crowd. We know DJ LeMahieu from Michigan. He had a great high school career, but really, he was on the Wisconsin All-Stars with his coach, Brian Burgert. And I'm so excited we found you because you and I have been sitting here chatting for the last inning and a half about young DJ LeMahieu at 12. So I want you to tell all the Rockies fans out there exactly what you had on your hands.
Well, we knew right away when DJ came to the tryouts, and I was on one of the other diamonds, and one of the guys called over to me and said, you got to come watch this kid at shortstop that's taking these ground balls. And I said, well, we've got kids all the time that take. He says, no, he says, you got to come take a look at this kid. He was wearing at the time, when he came to the first day of tryouts, he was wearing a light blue Cardinal uniform, which is my team that I follow. And I said, well, this kid's already special, and we probably have to put him on the team already just because he's wearing this Cardinal uniform. So we watched him take about 10, 12 balls at short, and I said, wow. I says, we haven't seen a kid like that field a baseball in Wisconsin, you know, as long as we've been here. So we kind of knew right out of the get-go that DJ was going to be a special player for us. And you know, he ended up going to Cooperstown and winning a championship for us in 2000.
Well, I think what's super special, we're going to show a picture of DJ as a 12-year-old. He was really small for this guy that ended up becoming 6'4", one of the tallest second basemen out there. You talk about a kid that was just kind of tiny and scrawny.
Yeah, and we always said that, you know, he was probably 5 foot, 5'1", maybe 110 pounds, but he was our three-hitter. He had tremendous hands, and even at 12 years old, just like he does now, he hit the ball the opposite way all the time. Hit a lot of home runs in Cooperstown out in right center field. And, you know, I don't know where he ever got that power, but, you know, as we watched him as he was growing up, and then he was 5'10", then he was 6'2", and I thought, how big is he going to get, you know, because, you know, like you said, he was playing short and third. And what is he, 6'5" now? 6'4"?
6'4", yeah.
6'4", 6'5", yeah, so.
Yeah, it's really neat. I mean, the fact that you guys have just stayed in touch after all those years. He moved away to Michigan, and you were saying he was quite an athlete. We know that he was quite a basketball player, but you said he played hockey as well?
Yeah, he was a very, well, he was a good athlete all the way around. He was a real good basketball player, and he played hockey. So at Brother Rice, he finally had to figure out, you know, what sport was going to be the sport that, you know, obviously that, you know, was going to be the best for him. And obviously baseball is where he ended up. Yeah,
Adames grounding out there, so 1 out now for the Rockies. You know what, you knew that he was going to be special. Tell me the story about when you took some baseballs to DJ, and why did you want him to sign all these baseballs when he was in high school?
Well, I was refereeing basketball, a high school game, and his mother I believe was born in Würzburg, and they were having a party for, I'm not sure what year it was, but, you know, close to her 90th birthday. And I told DJ, I took him a couple dozen baseballs, and he said to me, he said, well, what do you want me to do with these, coach? And I said, well, I want you to sign them. And he looked at me like, okay. And I says, because someday I know that you're going to be a major leaguer, and then I'll have these baseballs, and I still have 2 dozen baseballs that he signed. And his mother said to me, she goes, you know, coach, he's been doing that since he's been 5 years old. He's been fiddling around with a baseball and signing it and signing it. And I always told him, I said, Deej, I said, I was always real particular as far as, you know, with signatures. And I said, just do me a favor. I says, always just make sure that when you sign them, the kids can read them. And he said, I will. And it's funny because
you got another signature today.
I got this one from my grandson tonight. And, you know, which has got the new logo of the new commissioner on there. And there it is.
And it's the same signature that you got all those years ago?
Was, yeah, from basically 10 years ago.
Now, I know you keep up with DJ, and you check the box scores there as David Dahl's going to ground out to second here for 2 outs. You check the box score every single day, so it doesn't surprise you that DJ LeMahieu's hitting as well as he is. But he's going to be competing now for a National League batting title. How impressed are you now?
Well, as great as it is, it doesn't surprise me at all, because he's always been that guy that's always, you know, kind of been under the radar. And he's a very, very hard worker. I remember a story one time, I believe him and Tom we were going to the College World Series, and they were playing down there. And he was driving through Nebraska, and he said to his dad, he said, Dad, he says, hey, there's a ball field. He says, could you hit me some ground balls. And so Tom would pull the car over and, you know, hit a couple buckets of baseballs. And, you know, I know we're getting a little bit off as far as his fielding and that, but that's just the type of kid that he was. I mean, he's always, you know, worked at his craft as he's grounded out to second there, right?
The hardest worker ever. Brian, thank you so much. We appreciate the time, the insight on a very young DJ LeMahieu. We will be right back from Milwaukee.